Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I have some explaining to do. This is actually, unfortunately, a really sad story, but this is also Marcel's first time on YouTube. So Marcel, say hi. So today we're gonna be talking about a really serious topic, and it kind of sucks because I never thought I would be making something like this. So I have an explanation as to why I went MIA, and that same information ties in with the story I'm about to tell. I thought it was essential to come back to YouTube by explaining this story and telling it to you guys, just because it's something really tragic and disgusting that me and Marcel had to go through. This is the story about how my racist, animal abusing roommates tried murdering Marcel. I'm not gonna name anybody's names just because this is not a video intended to send hate to these people. They are thankfully out of my life. Honestly, the universe works in such great ways. I'm just telling my story, and I feel like it's a serious topic. Like, animal abuse should not be happening, and I never thought it would hit close to home, especially on my first pet. So, as some of you may know, I have never had a pet. The only pet I've had was a pet fish that committed suicide, and that was a long time ago. Marcel is my first ever pet, really. A lot of stuff was happening back home, which made me, have a lot of anxiety. I always wanted a dog, but recently in the summer, I met my boyfriend's cats, which are so cute. I fell in love with cats. I was still living in the dorm room with said roommates, and I was in such a bad, place in my head that my mom, even suggested it to me that I get a cat. Anyways, I talked to my roommates about it to see if everyone was on the same page, if everyone was okay with this, clear and open about it, and I have receipts and literally a whole book of receipts saying that everyone was on board with this idea, which makes me think that this whole plan was brainstormed by Megamind of the group. This person is just psychotic. We'll get to that. Late September, I think September 17th or 18th, was when I went to the shelter, and I only had plans to look at the kittens and see if I felt a connection with them. The moment I stepped into that room, Marcel was he would not leave my side. I knew that was him. And at the shelter that I went to, the Humane Society, the kittens go out really fast. They were always like just getting adopted and getting adopted and getting adopted so quickly, except for the black ones, which is why I actually chose black. I wanted to adopt, number one, so that was checked out. And I wanted to get a black cat because no one really wants to adopt them, because most people still have this stupid superstition mentality that black cats bring bad luck. A little background info. One of my roommates was not supposed to be living with me because she had already been arrested and dealt with law enforcement because she is so aggressive, and she also attacked her friend in the past. So that was already a red flag that, this person is not mentally stable. Later, living with her more, I started to realize that, she did have lots and lots of mental problems, which are none are her fault, but she was, not mentally stable. She used to take lots and lots of pills. She would just let anybody into my room, steal my stuff, go through my things when I'm not there. It was just so uncomfortable, and that was already something that I didn't want to have to deal with coming into my sophomore year, but I had to deal with because she was put in our room. And this specific girl, the mentally unstable girl, had already mentioned and joked around that she didn't want black cats because, number one, she was extremely racist to a point where it was uncomfortable to be in a room with her. So she always joked around that if she ever brought a black cat to her mom would stab it. And I never thought those jokes were funny, but she would continue to say those things. So that was also a red flag. But the kitten isn't hers. It was gonna be mine and stay in my individual room. I got Marcel, and he's clearly black. you know, like clearly he's black, you know, cute as hell, caused some problems. When I got Marcel, I was extremely happy. It was just so amazing to have my first pet ever. Marcel was so calm and playful. I brought him into the room so that everybody could meet him and, you know, get used to him. I made sure that nobody had any problems with him. Everybody was, you know, playing with him. Initially, I was gonna keep all of his things, his scratch post, his food bowl, his water bowl, his litter box, all in my individual room. So let me explain to you how the dorms worked where I used to live. There was a big living room and then 4 individual rooms. The living room included a kitchen, a bathroom area, and then a closet. My initial idea was to keep all of Marcel's things in my room. Cats don't need that much space. He was very small and the rooms are a very decent size. These people, first of all, there was this other person that was not living in my room that was controlling all of them. And this person is probably one of the biggest psychopaths I've ever known. Orchestrated everything that was about to happen. Obviously, she didn't partake in the activities because she just has her little puppets. A little background info on this person. She is extremely addicted to cocaine and is on cocaine 24/7.
We could do coke on my titties.
I don't judge, you do you. She was extremely psychotic. For example, in the beginning, when I came to the school, everybody would like kind of confuse her with me because she had the same features as me. And it's kind of like weird to say this, but people would come up to me and ask if I was the Instagram girl. Whenever they would mistake her with me because we were very close and very tight, and we would always like walk together and do everything together, she would actually say that she was the Instagram girl. She would say that she was Teddybearosito. And I overheard it one time and I thought it was the weirdest thing. Like, right, Marcel? Is that bitch not fucking weird? But like, it never affected me personally because I never lived with her. Weird that she would try to like convince people that she was me, but like, that's a whole other story. Anyways, little did I know that she was orchestrating this whole animal abuse scene that was about to happen. One of my friends that lived with me, we went out for a couple hours and I wanted to leave Marcel by himself in my room. I didn't want anybody to feel responsible to take care of him. Also, my boyfriend at the time was living in another house and he wanted to, you know, spend the weekend with Marcel. This was a Thursday. He wanted to spend the weekend with Marcel and he wanted me to take him there. But the mentally unstable girl from earlier was saying that taking Marcel to my boyfriend's house was an unsafe environment and that he had to stay in the dorm. And then the other roommate also wanted to stay in and play with him. I really didn't want to go out that day because I wanted to stay in and just enjoy him, but everyone just really wanted to be alone with the fucking cat in the room, and I didn't notice that they had this ongoing plan to fucking try to kill him, but you never know. So I leave for a couple hours. They're all, you know, saying that, sending me pictures of him, like, you know, putting on this whole act that like Marcel is having this much fun and whatever. I come back and Marcel is nowhere to be seen. Everyone is fake sleeping because they were up like 5 minutes before I arrived at the dorm. We go back into the room and Marcel is nowhere to be seen. Bottles of alcohol everywhere. I start to ask questions and ask them like, hey, wake up, like, can you help me find Marcel? Hey, wake up, can you help me find him? And the mentally unstable girl says, he's in here, just don't freak out. So that's when I start to get heated and I'm like, well, tell me where he is. She's like, he's in here. Like, playing game. Tell me where this cat is. He's 3 months old. He's probably so scared. No one's telling me anything. No one's saying where he went. Nobody said if anybody took him downstairs because, you know, the psychopath lived below us, so she could have taken him. Nobody was answering my questions. So my first initial reaction was, I fucking call 911. They're playing games with me and they're like hinting that he's in here and that I can't get him to take him to my boyfriend's house. I decided to call 911. I was crying because I had no idea where he was and I just felt so alone. Like the girl I was with was extremely drunk, so she was no help, obviously. Flipping the room upside down, trying to see where he is. Flip the couch, he likes to stay under the couch. Open the fridge. Like I went through every common room area there was that this cat could be in. And while I'm doing this, campus safety, 6 campus safety officers come in here and talk to me, and meanwhile, the mentally unstable girl locks herself in her room. And I'm just saying, she had the past of going through my stuff, eating my food, letting strangers use my things. That was just a big hint to me that she had Marcel in there. So I tell the police officer, I'm like, hey, listen, like this happened last year. Like she used to go through my stuff and steal my stuff. So I genuinely think she has the cat, and she was the one freaking out about me taking the cat. So I think it's in there. The police officer goes and checks her room. She's all hesitant, not letting anybody in. Guess where it was? In her room. Do you know what she did to this cat? She stuffed him in the bottom drawer and put clothes on top of him so that he wouldn't meow, so that we wouldn't hear him. And she closed the drawer so quickly, I guess because she was tracking my location, that Marcel's tail was stuck. You know when you close a drawer and you hit your finger on it? That's what Marcel's tail was like that. He was in that drawer for over an hour and a half. I mean, they were trying to suffocate it. And what I'm thinking is that, you know, the girl's mentally unstable. They're both on coke, both on weed, because Megamind from downstairs brought all the narcotics, made them, you know, do this so that she wouldn't get caught herself, because she wasn't in the room when this was happening. What sickens me the most is that these people are out there and one of them is trying to become a vet. That's disgusting. If you have this like mentality that you want to like hurt little animals and you're trying to become a vet, I'm like, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's a threat to society. All 3 of them are a threat to society. One's a psychopath on coke all the time, will manipulate people into killing a cat for fun. The other one's mentally unstable and already got arrested for hitting a friend. Actually tried killing my cat. I'm just like thinking to myself, what kind of people am I living with? I can't wrap my head around it. How you could do that to some little thing. Marcel needed to be loved, and when I took him to the vet, he had respiratory issues, and the vet clearly said that his tail was damaged and that his lungs, it wasn't a sickness, it wasn't a cold, it wasn't anything. He was abused. There was something blocking his nasal and his respiratory passages, and the bill was so damn high for this cat that even though the vet said whoever did this to him, whoever's drawer he was in, needs to pay for this bill. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make this girl pay for his bill. It's my cat, and even though she tried killing it, it's my responsibility to fix him. Can you imagine how hard it was for me to realize that the people I was living with were mentally insane? Anyways, time passed by and here we are. This is why I couldn't film, because every time I'd be in there, they would try to do something. And I was still living there, but I would spend most of my nights at least, so I knew I could sleep safe at my boyfriend's house, but all my stuff stayed there, my ring light, my tripods, you know, everything stayed in the dorm. My boyfriend was living with 3 of his guys and there was no space for all of my stuff there, so I couldn't really do anything. And my parents didn't want me moving without them. They were living in South Africa at the time. It was hard to move. But all my filming stuff, all my clothes, all my makeup, I would have to go in and out of my room as quickly as I could because they would be banging and screaming and saying all these racial slurs at me.
Live with the fucking dirt on the floor! I live with the dirt in the dirt!
And the psychopath from the floors below, she always was in my room and she was always harassing me. I dodged a bullet with that one. In a way, I feel glad that this happened because the universe is literally telling me, go away from these people. I would try to be there as least as possible. I would literally pack bags of like outfits for like a couple of days so I didn't have to be there. My parents were still paying for the dorm. I'm so glad that I am in a safe environment now and I'm able to tell this story, because I was actually gonna tell this story during winter break, but I was still technically living there, even though me and my boyfriend already had this apartment. Thankfully, I already cut all the connections I had with that dorm room, and I'm finally free to tell this story and spread awareness about this issue. It's the thing that most gets under my skin is when people abuse and like actually try to, you know, hurt little creatures like that, like my racist roommates did to Marcel. And, you know, I had to suffer through months and months of bullying for that. Also, here are my titties so you don't lose interest, but I don't know how I forgot to mention that this psychopath, the way she was able to manipulate her little sheep was that she got herself a burner phone and she decided to text herself from the burner phone death threats to her and to the cat killer, pretending it was me. So this creature thought it was a good idea to write 37 conduct reports about me to the school to try to get my ass expelled for sending the fake death threats. Well, we did a further investigation and the IP address led to her own phone. This idiot downloaded a burner phone app to text yourself death threats and text the other girls death threats to pretend it was me. Not to mention, she also tried to send amongst those 37 conduct reports, there were a few about my boyfriend, how my boyfriend was a threat to society and that he couldn't be around campus because he doesn't go there because he's a grown man. And she decided to report on him too. And guess what she does? At the time, he was working at one of the clubs that she used to go to, and he asked her to kindly step out when she threw a drink at him. Is this person not insane to you? Like, is it just me? Like, is it just me that thinks that this person isn't insane? And that these people are stupid to just follow? Like, how small-minded do you have to be? Like, are you serious? Like, Marcel agrees. He fucking agrees, and guess what? My titties agree. So, there you have it. All I wanted was to save my kitten, and I did it. So now I'm in a healthy environment, and I'm so thankful that I'm out of, you know, all of that negative air. Oops, sorry, my camera cut off, but I'm all about energy and just beginning this new year in a new environment where Marcel's happy. Now that I have my own apartment, I'm gonna be making so much more content. I'm already like able to make so much more content on Instagram for you guys. And my mindset after that experience I had, my mindset has changed. On that note, like I said, this video was never supposed to be, you know, a negative video. It was just to shed light on something that honestly still happens. If you're ever in a situation like that, just please know that standing up for these, you know, little animals that don't even have the ability to speak for themselves, you can make a difference. So on that note, I would like to share a couple of links that you could also help some other animals. And the first one is my mom's best friend. She owns this animal shelter in Brazil, and she literally dedicates her whole entire life to like saving little animals and abused dogs and cats from the street. She takes them in, and she has like this, you know, whole nonprofit shelter where she just likes to help these little babies. So I'll put their Instagram links down below along with their website. It is in Portuguese, but that's where they accept like donations to, you know, help maintain their shelter up with like dog food, cat food, all that stuff. So if you want to help out, please check that out below. Also, one of my really close friends from Mexico has started his own line of portraits, and it's just beautiful art. And all of the proceeds go to the animals that have been affected by the bushfires in Australia. So obviously this is not sponsored by them, so I'm just using my platform to, you know, spread some animal love. And thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on all my social medias down below. Don't forget to hit that little bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.